Hello, I am Dr. Ajay Sharma, Department of Electronics and Communication Engineering, James Engineering Management Technical Campus, Greater Noida. The subject that I deal in this particular semester is optoelectronics and optical communication. This is the main subject of 7th semester uh, electronics and communication engineering branch students. The topic is nature of light, basic optical laws and definitions. This is the continuation lecture of previous lecture, which is part 1, and this is part 2. So we will start. Transmission of light through a optical fiber. Yeah. Actually, the transmission of light through optical fiber actually depends upon what is the nature of light. Nature of the light means when optical communication, when you're talking about light, light may be a stimulated light. This is not the light that is coming from torch or any other or bulb or tube light. The light that we consider in optical communication is the light that is coming from light sources that are available in optical communication. LED and laser. These LED and laser, we talked about these two topics in unit number 3, where we will talk about optical sources, right? So, what is the nature of light? It means what is the directivity of the light, what is the intensity of the light, right? So, all these are the characteristics that associated with the light. So, when you talking about the transmission of light through a optical fiber, you have to consider what is the nature of light. Second thing is because when the light coming from light source, obviously this light is to be guide through a optical fiber, right? So an optical fiber support this particular light that is coming from optical sources. So two things decide the transmission of light through optical fiber. One, what is the nature of light, and second is the what is the structure of optical fiber. Because when you talk about structure means what is the structure of core, what is the structure of cladding, what is the refractive index of core, what is the refractive index of cladding. So all these type of parameters describe the structure of the optical fiber. As far as what is the as far as the light is concerned, light means sometime when we discuss about light, sometime light ray theory come in the picture. So sometime we have to help ray theory. We have to take the help from the ray theory to understand this light, because light is also considered as a ray. So all the ray theory, when we talk about ray theory, we talk about reflection, diffractions, total internal reflections, right? So all these terms associated with the ray theory. So sometime to understand this the phenomena of light in optical communication, sometime we consider light as a ray. So in this way, ray theory applicable to the light to understand the phenomena of light. Secondly, sometime when you understand this light in optical communication, the this light sometime considered as a electromagnetic wave, and when the light is considered as a electromagnetic wave, then all the electromagnetic theories applicable to this light, right? So, and not only electromagnetic wave theory but also the mode theory, because mode theory is a part of electromagnetic wave, right? If the students are already familiar with the microwave, which is the main subject of sixth semester. So because in sixth semester in microwave, obviously light, obviously the signal that we talked about in microwave is a radio signal of high frequency, electromagnetic wave signal of high frequency. So the more theory applicable in that microwave subject in sixth semester, which is the main subject of that these students. So sometime ray considered as a sometime ray theory come in the picture, and sometime mode theory come in the picture, and these both theories applicable to the optical fiber phenomena. Right. So we have to move forward. Again, a very important term that is come in the picture when you understand the phenomena of light is a term that we called as a index of refraction. Sometimes we called as a refraction of index. Same meaning. Index of refraction, or you may call as a refraction of index. So what is this index of refraction? Right? Actually, index of refraction is a term that is associated with a particular medium. Means if you change the medium, means you have to change the refractive index. Means every medium has its own particular index of refraction. That should be clear. And how this index of refraction defined? Actually, it's the ratio of two things. It is the ratio of two things. One is the speed of light in a vacuum or air, or the speed of light in that material. Right? So if you have a material and someone asks, okay, what is the refractive index of that material? What you have to do? First, you have to measure the light in air, okay? Then pass this light through this material, and obviously the velocity or the speed of light change. You have to measure that change, right? So you have two velocities, two speeds: speed of light in air and the speed of light in that material where you want to find what is the refractive index of that material, right? So whenever you want to know the refractive index of any material or a medium, what you have to do, you have to take the ratio of the two speeds. One speed signifies the speed of the light in air, and another is the speed of light in that medium for which you want to know the refractive index, right? So refractive index of any medium is defined as the velocity or speed of light in air or vacuum upon velocity of light and that particular medium. So one thing is clear from this discussion, that the speed of the light change, maybe increase, maybe decrease, depends upon the medium, but definitely it will change. So the light, the speed of the light change whenever the light change its medium. That should be clear, right? That should be clear, right? Whether the light increase or decrease, it depends upon the medium, whether the medium is dense or rare. If the medium is dense, means if the medium is dense, the speed of the light decreases. If the medium is rare, the speed of the light increases, right? That should be clear. So one thing is clear: the light will always travel slower in the fiber material than in air. And how we define this, and how the term small n, indicate the index of refraction. So index of refraction is represented by small n, which is equals to C upon V, where C is the speed of light in air, upon V is the speed of light in that particular medium. So n represent the refractive index of that medium. Okay, so this should be clear. So basically, index of refraction is very important term in optical communication, right? And how you calculate that term? You have to calculate that term by taking the ratio of speed of light in air upon a speed of light in that medium. So n is become the refractive, and if you take the ratio of that, then the quantity that come is significant, is represent the refractive index of that medium. Look at this phenomena of in this particular case we have two mediums, right? We have two medium. One medium we considered as a glass, and the second medium we considered as air. Because we have two mediums, means two two different refractive index. So we take glass and we represent the refractive index of glass is N1, and we take a second medium which is air, so the refractive index is N2. So N1 and N2 are the two refractive indexes because of two different medium. One medium is glass having refractive index N1, second medium is air having refractive index N2. Now incident ray that is coming from glass enter into the air. This is the case. And one thing you all should be remember that whenever the medium change, not only the speed change but also the direction of the light is also changed, right? So whenever the medium change, the direction of the light is also changed. The path is changed. There is a little bit tilt in this in the path of the ray, right? So in this particular case, if you look the picture, an incident ray is coming from glass, enter into air through a boundary of glass and air. So in this case, the path of the incident ray is changed. It is away. It is goes away from the this normal, which is the perpendicular line across this boundary, away from the normal, right? So theta 1 is the two angle come in the picture. One is theta 1, which is the angle between incident ray and normal, and theta 2 is the angle between normal and refracted ray. So this incident ray, when change its direction, it goes away from the normal. Now the name of this ray become refracted rays because it is refracted, from its path. So two angle come in the picture, theta 1 and theta 2. Theta 1 is the angle between incident ray and normal. Theta 2 is the angle between normal and refracted ray, right? So in this particular phenomena, when this happens, when the ray of light coming from one medium enters the second medium, then Snell law come in the picture. And according to Snell law, what is this Snell law? Snell law is a mathematical expression, a mathematical equation, which is n1 into sine theta 1 is equals to n2 into sine theta 2, where n1 is the refractive index of medium 1, theta 1 is the angle between incident ray and normal, n2 is the refractive index of second medium, theta 2 is the angle between normal and refractive ray. So this is a mathematical phenomena, and this is always be a true mathematical equation. This is already be proved, right? So whenever this type of phenomena occur, when a light coming from one medium enter into the another medium, then Snell law come in the picture, and according to the Snell law, n1 into sine theta 1 is equals to n2 into sine theta 2. This is very important mathematical expression, and sometimes numericals may be asked on the basis of this Snell law. Three quantities are given, you have to identify the fourth one, because three quantities involved in this particular mathematical expressions: n1, n2, theta 1 and theta 2. These are the four parameters. So sometimes three parameters are given in the question and fourth one is to be calculated. So we take help from this particular Snell law and find out the fourth parameter, right? So a very 5 marks question may be asked in the examination on the basis of that. Now, what happens when incident ray or the incident or the angle between incident ray and normal increases? But one thing is clear from the previous slide, that the incident angle is always less than the refracted angle. Why? Because the ray is moved away from the normal. So obviously the angle of refraction is greater than the angle of incident. So, but what happens when angle of incident increases? Obviously angle of refraction is also increases. So there is a point where you increase the angle between normal and an incident ray, which we called as a Incident angle, if you increase that, there is a point, there is an angle at which the angle of refraction become 90 degree, means refracted rays parallel to the this glass and air boundary at this particular angle is called critical angle. So what is critical angle? Angle is the angle at which angle of refraction become 90 degree, or you may say incident or refractive ray is just parallel to the core cladding, glass air boundary, right? So what is critical angle? Critical angle is, first of all, critical angle is theta c. So theta c is represented as a critical angle. What is theta c, which is a critical angle? Critical angle is the angle at which angle of refraction become 90 degree, or angle of refraction, or the refracted ray is parallel to the glass air boundary, right? So this is critical angle. And what happens when you increase the angle above critical angle? Then what happen? Then in this case, the ray, the refracted ray, coming back to the same medium, right? Coming back to the same medium. In this condition, we say it's a total internal reflection. What is total internal reflection? And how, first of all, understand when this total internal reflection phenomena happens. This happens when you increase your incident angle greater than critical angle, then all the rays that you want to impact on this boundary is reflected back to the same medium, and this is the base of phenomena of propagation of light in optical fiber. This work on the basis of total internal reflection, where you always have an angle greater than critical angle and all the light is coming back to the same medium, right? So this is the phenomena of total internal reflection.